Hello, fellow explorers. What are you being asked by the universe right now to surrender, to let go of, and to release back to the control of the universe so that you don't have to try to take the reins on this thing that isn't really yours to control? In this pick a card reading, we will look into what are those energies that are supporting you in letting these things go and giving it back to the universe. So if you're ready, let's go ahead and jump right in. Hello, fellow explorers, and welcome to the Mystic Lemur. My name is Rita, and it is my honor to be your guide through the messages in this reading. But as always, take only what resonates and leave what doesn't. You are always the best expert on what is right for you today. The energies of the reading today, what we're looking at is, what are you being asked by the universe to let go of, to surrender? The theme we have is inspired by the timing of the reading in history right now. This is a timeless reading, so whenever this message finds you, there very likely is something in it for you to hear. So I invite you to be open to receiving whatever it is that the universe is offering you. But right now we're at the end of December 2019, so around this time, especially in the Northern Hemisphere, you're coming into midwinter, beginning of the really cold season. And the theme of that season is getting into surrender. We're getting into Ishvara Pranihana. So this in yoga philosophy is the idea of the culmination of the yamas and the niyamas. This is the fifth niyama. And this surrender is really what we do when we've done all of our work to get ourselves prepared. And now we just need to let the things that we can no longer control go. So in the manifestation process, that's step number 2. So you do the 1, which is the desiring, and the 2 is the universe bringing it in, and then the 3 is you receiving. So you cannot get to 3 until you get through 2. So what do you need to give back to the universe, or release your control of, and trust the universe to take care of it for you? So in support of our reading today, we have our friends, the cornflowers. The cornflower medicine that is supporting us here is that these flowers are associated with the upper chakras. So we have the vishuddhu, that's the throat, supporting you in speaking your truth and hearing with clarity. The third eye, which is also supporting you in seeing with clarity, also wisdom and intelligence, learning. Possibly also clairvoyance, if that's one of the psychic gifts that you happen to be either blessed with or exploring at the moment, and the Sahasrara, or the crown chakra, which is the seat of our wisdom and our portal to higher dimensions, in addition to our heart being the sort of like the container for our portal. Right, so the cornflower medicine here is especially helping us in that psychic development, and as we're coming into that dark phase of the year, especially in the north, turning inward and coming into our inner wisdom is predominantly associated with the heart on up. So especially exploring the way that these cornflowers will support us in tapping into those upper chakras and reaping the benefits of the wisdom that the universe is offering us in this request that we let go, surrender, release, and trust the process. Right, so for our reading today, we have 3 piles. Pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3. And that's pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3, to help you get the most out of the messages that are being offered to you through this reading. It's first helpful to come into a grounding sensation, so bringing your energy down, your emotions down, calming your mind, and letting your intuitive wisdom pop forward so it can guide you to receiving the messages. So to prepare for this, I invite you to find a comfortable seated position, somewhere possibly in a chair or on this floor, somewhere where you can begin to sense the root of your root chakra, so through your sits bones, your legs, your feet, grounding into the earth, imagining roots growing down deep into the earth, and then stacking your spine so that the energy can shoot up through the top of your head and connect you to your higher self. Taking 3 deep mindful breaths to help you center and tune in to your intuitive messages. So it's 1 deep inhale, belly breath in, and then exhale, deep belly breath in, and And exhale. One more deep breath in and letting it go. Coming to zero in on which pile is speaking to you. It may be more than one pile. And if you've come to not quite find which pile is yours just yet, you can always pause the video and start it again once you've centered in on which of these piles is speaking to you today. So as you're ready, we'll go ahead and jump on in, starting with pile number 1. So we'll move pile number 2 and 3 over to the side for a second. And with pile number 1, you have selected the throat chakra cornflower. This is the one that's the blue of the throat chakra. So what this is already telling me is you might be being asked to surrender either your desire to be the one who has the last word, or surrender what may be blocking you from really stepping into and embracing your truth, because the throat chakra is all about speaking your truth to the world. So what parts might you be holding back when you're saying yes, but you really mean no, no when you really mean yes? These might be some of the things that you're being asked to consider. Some symptoms that you might be experiencing if you are having throat chakra issues: loss of voice, sore throat, if you have like that sense of a frog in your throat. It's like a literal physical blockage. And as we're coming into Capricorn season at this moment, if you have a lot of Capricorn or other earth energies in your chart, you might find that you're normally quite uncomfortable expressing these emotions. So this might be an especially relevant reading for you. So we'll get on in. So first, what is it that you're currently experiencing that the universe is inviting you to trust it a bit more, release it back to the universe? What's your situation right now? You are having, so we got the 7 of chalices here. So this is a card that's all about illusion. So this also, in this deck, has a familiarity or similarity to the 9 of Swords. So the 9 of Swords is also a card traditionally that's about nightmares. So you might be walking through some issues of you're trying to figure out what's really real. You may be sort of asked to choose the higher path. So one of the traditional interpretations of this card is that this is sort of like the path of the lower desires, and it would lead you to ruin if you know, it's the sort of thing like you can make all the money that you want, you can get all the status that you want, you can be famous as much as you want, but it's like money can't really buy you love. So if you can go ahead and you can manifest that, and that will come about because you'll manifest what you ask for. But it might be that the lesson that you're learning from that manifestation is that the money really wasn't important at the end of the day anyway. So you might be being asked to take the higher path. And then there's also another interpretation on this. This is about alchemy. So these are the different layers of alchemy, and you might be leveling up into the sort of process that you're going through to purify yourself, to be ready to be that higher self. So it could be that you're dealing with some restless nights about how to step forward with this process of becoming aligned with your truth. So what are the lessons at play here? We've got the Strength card. So the Strength card, this is number 9. And what it's asking you to do is possibly to step into your truth, step into your power. We've got a lot of blue again in this card. So that could again be speaking to that need to embrace your throat chakra. And we also have the lion here, so it could also be indicating your persona. So this is a card that's also ruled by Leo, and that's sort of the persona energy. So it might be that you're living your truth internally, but you're not quite bringing it out to the fore yet. You're not really living it outside as much as you are inside. So what are the unseen energies supporting you in coming to this release, or coming to this realization of what you need to release? You have Temperance. Oh, very interesting. So Temperance, again, that's kind of tapping into this energy of being your own alchemist. We have Angel here producing this remedy. She's tempering it in these goblets. So the emotional, intuitive body is producing this remedy for whatever it is that is ailing you. This is also a card that is ruled by Sagittarius. So it could be that the lessons that are coming up for you were present in this recent time frame, because this is coming up right at the end of Sagittarius season. So whenever this card finds you, it could be that you've gone through a period of expansion, a period of exploration, and this is asking you to temper that in and really make it a part of your whole self, so like build it into your foundations. The word I get for that is like accrete. So really bring it into your foundations and make it a core part of who you are. So that could also tie into you're being asked to live your truth outwardly as well as inwardly. And then finally, the outcome for you, we have the 5 of Chalices. So in this card, we have a man who's looking off into the horizon, and he's got some empty cups in front of him, but he's also got these other cups behind him that he's not really paying attention to. So what this might be indicating to you is that the outcome for you is that you would be asked to, again, take stock of all that you have. It might be that you are experiencing a sense of loss because these cups are empty now, but you still have some in reserve that you haven't really tapped into yet. So this could be an offer of the universe to trust that they have given you the support that you need. You just need to look to it and let it come to you. So that's what's going on in your sort of current energetic profile, group number 1. So what can we suggest to you as ways that you can help yourself along in releasing this and surrendering this, trusting into the universe, and letting your full manifestation power come forth? So we have a clarification on your identity here, 5 of Pentacles. So the traditional meaning behind the 5 of Pentacles is sense of loss. The Rider-Waite imagery is poverty. But here we have someone who is sort of stepping into fame. So it could be that you're being asked here to let go of your illusions of status. So if this is about the illusions here, you might be having some illusions of status or illusions of what other people think about you. So let that go. You need to worry about being your own authentic self, and what other people think about you is really none of your business, because we have this habit of, one, it's called the spotlight effect. We think that more people are paying attention to us than they actually are. 99% of the time, other people are thinking about themselves. So your best guess is that, 1, the average person thinks you're neutral to nice, and 2, that they're not really thinking about you much anyway. So do you. Don't worry about what they're thinking. Step into your power and live your truth. And then the people who need to be around you will come to you. Then we have another background lesson going on here. We have the 9 of Wands. This is signaling a completion of your energetic cycle. So we have, again, a lot of background energy here is this light blue, living your truth, and then coming into your heart space. And we have a woman in white here who's looking away, looking back to the past. So it could be that you are being asked to step into your power by releasing that look to the past, or maybe looking to the past. This might be an indication that you could be doing some shadow work. So tapping into having a look at, an honest look at what your inner dialogue is, and really just observing it at first and then interrogating it, like, okay, I just said this thing about myself. Is it really true? If it's not, then you can let that go and come to a better story about yourself. Finish the cycle so you can get your energy back in line with where you need to be. And then another clarification on the background energies that support you. We have the Hermit in reverse. So the Hermit upright speaks of being sort of being alone, being in your private space, and turning inward. And it's also a card that's ruled by Virgo, so it also speaks of habits and health. So the daily habits and the routines that keep you healthy. So in reverse, that might mean that you are being asked to, again, come out of the shadows, stop hiding, and bring those gifts that you have, those messages of truth that you have to share with the world. Bring those forth, and bring them forth boldly. Live in your truth boldly, because other people, part of what it is that we're being asked to do in this world is shine our light forth. And by shining our light and living our best life, we can inspire other people around us to let them become elevated as well. Finally, the outcome you have is Four of Pentacles in reverse. So Four of Pentacles, this is a card that is, again, looking like a fellow who's spending quite a lot of time in his own head. He seems to be planning something out, writing it out in this little notebook here. It's possible that he's like thinking of sending a message to someone, but he hasn't quite figured out the right words for it. So again, if you're considering what your message is, the lesson is sending that message out. Living it loud and proud. And in the background energy supporting you here, we have Six of Swords. So the Six of Swords is a card that speaks about going from turbulence to ease. So it could be that this surrendering to your, this pull to live openly and live proud in your truth will bring you from this place of turbulence where you might be right now, where you're experiencing some doubt and some anxiety, some loss of sleep, and some illusion of what other people think you should be, coming into more of a stable awareness of who you really are, and living that in a way that brings you into the life that you really should be living. So like if you're feeling very turbulent in your world right now, like you're in a toxic work environment, if you have toxic friends, bringing your vibration up and living your truth openly and honestly, definitely care what other people think, not your business. Your business is to be you to the best you can be. And that means being a you that elevates other people, but not to the detriment of yourself. You fill your cup first, and then you use that full cup to help other people. So that will bring you from this sense of toxicity and turbulence that you might be experiencing right now into a place of greater ease and flow. For some messages from the flowers, language of the flowers that we can share with our group number 1, we have status, adaptation. Change will be better than you think. So yeah, this change that you might be asking, the universe might be asking you to make in trusting yourself and trusting your voice, would be possibly quite a big leap for you. You might have spent quite a lot of time being very quiet and very, very much the hermit. So trust the universe. You're supported. They are here to support you, and it won't be as scary as you think it will be, or it'll be scary at first. But the point is to courage, strength is not being afraid. Courage is being afraid and doing it anyway. So that's what the universe might be asking you to do right now. We also have peony, health. Focus on all parts to make the whole. Yep, so if there's a part of you that you are trying to deny, or you're trying to hide, you're trying to suppress, so again, some of that Virgo energy coming up, bring it all together and shine it forth as a coherent unit. And then we have foxglove, confidence. Yep. Trust yourself. Be what you want to see. If you want the world to adapt, you be the adaptation. You lead the way by being it yourself, and the rest will follow. And finally, we have words of wisdom to share for daily healing with our group number 1. Use equanimity to calm your emotions. Equanimity, that's something that we talked a bit about in the earlier part of the intro, is this sense of coming into calmness. So equanimity is that ability to observe what's happening around you without judging it. So tap into that space of being in your equanimity, of being able to say, oh, that thing just happened, that was really frustrating, but I'm not going to attach to that sense of frustration. I'm instead going to let the frustration, and I'll even like feel the sensations of the frustration emerging in my body, let it swell up, and then let it go away without attaching your sense of you. It's not that I am frustrated, it's that, and not even that I'm feeling frustrated. It's like, oh, frustration feelings are happening right now, and then they've subsided. And the more that you can surrender to that, the more that you can surrender to like, oh, there's an emotion happening, but now it's going away, the quicker it will dissipate. Because it's the more that you dig into it, and especially the negative emotions like anger, the more that you're like, no, I can't be angry at that, or no, I can't be sad at that, the angrier and sadder that you get. So equanimity can really be helpful to pull your vibration up if you're in a negative space, to be like, okay, this is what's happening right now, but just like the rain, this too shall pass. Just like a cloudy day, this too shall pass. The sun will come back in just a minute. All I need to do is sit through this. And you can really level it up. You can really become the alchemist to that if you can love into that. It's like, isn't it amazing that I get to have such intense emotions? Isn't it amazing that I can feel this? Isn't it amazing that my depth of my soul goes that deep? Ooh, I'm getting chills. So like, someone needed to hear that. I do very much hope this message finds you, because you got some big gifts to give to the world, and it's through using your voice. So it could be singing, could be writing, could be teaching, could be anything where you need to give some kind of public expression of yourself. The world needs what you have to offer. Trust yourself, and the way to get there is to take the bad with the good and let the universe take you there. Because the universe has a much bigger plan for you than you have currently imagined, and it's an amazing process once you can let go of the steering wheel, let go of the rudder, and just let the currents take you. Yep, someone needed to hear that. So thank you so much, group number 1, for letting me be your guide through these messages. If you happen to know about what this might be about for you, or if you'd like to share your thoughts about this reading, please comment down below. And if you found that this was really hitting your resonance, go ahead and give it a like. And if this is really hitting your vibe, you think this is definitely your thing, maybe go ahead and give it a subscribe and hit that bell notification to keep up to date with the evolution of this channel. And so with that, I will leave you group number 1, and we'll move on to group number 2. All right, group number 2. What messages do we have for you about how you can surrender and better trust the universe to take you where you're going? So first, what I can see from your choice of this cornflower, this is the one that is representing the ajna, or the third eye chakra. So what you might be offering, might have offered to you right now, is to release what it is that you're seeing with your physical eyes. So what is it that you're observing, and go more with your vision, your lateral vision, I like to say it. So instead of looking at your linear vision, so that's like the empirical, the manifested reality that you're currently experiencing, instead of going on the observed reality and responding or reacting to it, be responsive and be proactive by looking laterally, by thinking sideways, in the sense of like noticing, instead of reacting to what's happening, leading with your vision. So you have a vision of what you want the world to be. You have a vision of what you want your life to be. Lead with that vision. And as long as you can keep to that vision of what you want, you can manifest it. So what is the universe currently asking you, group number 2, to surrender? What's your sort of surrender or your trusting the universe profile right now? We have 3 of Pentacles. So it could be that you are a creative person, that you are in the arts in some way, and we got a lot of blue in the background here, so it could also be that you're using this as a very self-expressive manner, and so it could be that you're in the process of creating something, but maybe you think that, so he's pointing at his creations, maybe you think that you're not quite being recognized enough for these creations that you're producing, and that might be sort of taking you out of your vibrational stance to be able to receive the rewards of these creations. So what is the lesson being learned here with this situation? You have the Knight of Pentacles. So we have the Knight of Pentacles is a planner. He's the most grounded of all of the knights, and he's in service to the earth. So the lesson you might be being asked to learn here is to plan accordingly and then act on those plans. So instead of just being like the Page of Pentacles who does the planning but doesn't quite act on it yet, once you've got a solid plan in place, act upon it. And it could also speak to, this is air and earth. This could be speaking to being a supporter of the earth. So maybe you could make some more earth-friendly choices in your transportation modes, or in your diet, or in the products that you buy. These could be things that are being offered to you that you can release and trust the process. So in your consumption, it could be that you can reduce what you're consuming. You don't need to grab onto so much, and instead make the solid plans and act upon them according to inspired action. And if you are also a planner and a very diligent actor, it could also be asking you to stop trying to try so hard, right? Like you don't need to do so much of this work. It could be that the universe is trying to do some of this work for you and you're actually blocking it because you're pushing too hard on something that isn't really for you. Someone may have needed to hear that. So it could be, different messages for different folks. Take what resonates, but, that was for somebody. Then we have, what are the background energies, the energies that you don't necessarily see right now, but that are in support of you? We have Six of Pentacles. So Six of Pentacles, this is a card that speaks to me about generosity. So again, Spirit might be trying to give you this gift, but you may be feeling, you might feel like you're the starving artist right now, and you feel like maybe no one's noticing you, but you've been noticed, and the money's coming, the abundance is coming to you. You just need to get out of its way, basically. And this also speaks to if you are in a space where you are coming into a windfall, notice who you used to be. And when you see someone like that, be generous to them and pay back by paying forward to someone else who is also in need of some support. And then finally, the outcome that we're looking for here, we have Judgment. So Judgment, we have the end of a double end of a cycle. So we're coming into 2020 at the time of this reading. So it could be that you're really being asked to reach your maturity and level up. We have an angel here who's calling to the people who are in the grave to rise up. But they're, they're hearing the call, but they're still in the space of like, help me, help me, help me. And the Spirit here is like, yep, we're here. Here's the message. So accept the messages that are being sent to you. And when you get them, trust that that's what's there for you. So instead of continuing to grip in on this sense of like, oh, I don't know if I can do it, and oh, I don't know if it's going to work, and oh, I don't know, follow the good feelings. So like, if this is feeling peaceful, if this is feeling happy, if this is feeling fulfilling, trust that, keep doing it, it's working out, it just needs time. So I'm reminded of where, like when you're in the sun cycles, think about this as like trusting the process. We have the solstices at the midsummer and midwinter, right? But midsummer, when we have the solstice, that's usually in July or in June and December, depending on which part of the world you're in. And then it would be for the summer solstices, also June and December. So are those the absolute hottest and coldest times of the year? No, they're not. The next 2 months after that are the hottest and coldest. So there's still momentum that the sun is taking after it's already reached its minimum and maximum. So if you're at a point where you're just beginning to pivot your energy and you're just beginning to come into a higher vibration after being low vibrational for a very, very long time, it's coming, but you've got a lot of momentum from your negative vibrations. And same thing on the flip side. If you are in a space where you've been pretty high vibrational for a long time, but you notice you have some negative energies popping up, it's not like you're going to immediately manifest horror. You can notice what you're doing and nudge it back in the right direction because you still got the momentum on your side. So someone needed to hear that. So trust that you are on the path. You might not see it quite yet because you've got a lot of momentum built up in the other direction, but it's coming. Spirit is here for you. Listen, tune in, and accept it. All right. So what are the energies at play for you, group number 2, and supporting you in achieving this surrender, achieving this release, and letting the things come to you that the universe is trying to give to you as soon as you can surrender to accepting it? So we have the Page of Pentacles. Like I said, we have tons of pentacles in this reading, so you guys are manifesting some abundance for sure. So here, I said earlier with the Knight of Pentacles, acting on your plans. So it could be that you are pushing in the wrong direction. So you're pushing for something that isn't yours. So like, if you're trying to get a job, that job really isn't for you. So accept that job isn't for you and come into a job that's actually a better match for who you are. So here, the background energy and supporting where you are right now is planning out things. So again, the energy of the moment that this reading is being done, we're heading into the new decade, and there's also a new moon heading up, so it could be an invitation for you to really tune in and plan your manifestations. Plan them very carefully, and really dig into what your inner being is telling you deeply, truly, from your heart center want, not from your lower chakras, your root and your sacral. What does your heart want? Because you might, with all these pentacles, you might have been acting from your root and your sacral chakra quite a lot. So come up to your heart. What does your heart want? That will lead you forward. So what is the background or the clarification on a lesson being learned? We have the Three of Chalices in reverse. So Three of Chalices upright speaks of authentic and intimate friendships and celebrating good times with friends. But in reverse, that might be indicating that you could be being asked to learn some discernment about your friend group. So if you're concerned about if people are judging you, it could be that your friends are more frenemies than friends. And so it could be that part of the lesson that you're learning here is to discern who the fair weather and the ride or die friends are, and keep the ride or die friends who love you for who you are. Not for what you can give them. Yeah, someone needed to hear that. Not for what you can give them, but who you are. You don't need to earn people's love by giving them things. You are already lovable. And then finally, what is the background energy supporting you? We have the Six of Chalices. So this speaks to me of inner child. So you have possibly some inner child work that could be done to help support you in getting through this release, this surrender. And once you achieve it, you will be better connected with the soothing and growing and supporting that inner child within you. And it also could speak to if you have biological or literal or 3D children, either biological or adopted, or somehow children in your life, whatever you end up achieving through this surrender will be in support of really helping nurture them. Finally, the background energy of the outcome is we have the King of Wands. So this is the fire of fire, the peak masculine expression of energy. So using your energy judiciously. So you're a good leader, and you're definitely good at acting upon things when the time is right, but only using as much energy as you need, and only using it when the time is right. So it could be part of this learning to take your plans and not push forward too hard on something that isn't working. So like if you feel like you're beating your head against a brick wall, that might be an indication that it's not a thing for you to do. So use your energy more judiciously to come to what the universe is actually trying to point you at, because that's the thing that's actually for you. The background energy supporting this is we have Nine of Pentacles. So Nine of Pentacles, again, tons of pentacles in this reading. So you guys are definitely coming into some abundance. And the background energy here is that you are leveling up your abundance. You are becoming closer to the most mature expression of your ability to produce and provide and to be grounded. So again, if you're an artist, it could be that you spend a lot of time, in your third eye, up your head, and what you're doing is you're also grounding yourself, and you're grounding those visions that you have for the world that you want to see into this physical manifested reality. What are the messages of the flowers that we can share for the group number 2? We have cyclamen, resignation, say goodbye to what you no longer need. All right, so yeah, that's energy of releasing. Yeah, if this is something that you're sort of struggling to pull along with you, let it go. It's not for you. We have orange blossom, enthusiasm. The best can be here. Believe it, right? So instead of, as I say in the opening to this flower, you have to believe it before you can receive it. So if you're living too much in your experience of the observed manifested reality in front of you, that's a reactionary manifestation. So you're reacting to what's being manifested. Instead, imagine and lead the universe into manifesting by leading through your positive beliefs that you can have all that you want. It is possible to do it all. It is possible to have it all. But you need to really tap into what you actually want. What is it that you actually want, not what you think the world wants for you. And then we have Lenten Rose, protection. Conserve what you have. save a little. So yeah, that talks again to this King of Wands energy. So use your energy wisely. If you're beating your head against a brick wall about something, pivot. The door is open. You just need to walk through it. You don't need to bust through that brick wall. You can pivot and walk through the open door that's right next to it. Finally, our words of healing wisdom for group number 2. Work daily towards improving your mental health. Interesting. So again, coming back to this thinking positively, coming back to your enthusiasm. If you're feeling quite low, you know, I'm not a medical professional, but there are resources for you. You are not alone. And there are people here to help you, and we do care. You know, so reach out to someone, either family, friends, someone professional, and make it a daily habit. So I will always speak highly of the benefits of yoga. So you could adopt a yoga practice, meditation practice, something simple like making sure that you eat something nutritious every day, drink water, take a walk. If you're really feeling low, take a nap, but a short nap. If you're really low vibrational, naps might be more hindrance than help. It's like go out for a walk, go to a coffee shop, and just have a conversation with someone. Yeah, just get out of your head as much as you can, because you might be seeing the negative side of things when you could also just as easily choose to begin to see the bright side of things, because they're equally true. It's just a matter of interpretation. So you do have the ability to shift your interpretations as you deem fit, and having a daily practice like meditation and like visualizations, if you're into that, or doing vision boards, those are the things that can help you shift your energy back into a better, healthier space. So those are the messages I have for group number 2. Thank you so much, group number 2. If you have any feedback or any comments about what you think this might be about, or how this resonates for you, go ahead and leave us some comments in the box below. And if you happen to really hit this vibe, you really love this reading, go ahead and give it a like. And if it's really hitting your resonance, you might want to give this channel a subscribe and hit the notifications button to keep up to date on the evolution of this channel. So thank you so much again, group number 2, and we're moving on to group number 3. Okay, group number 3. What messages do we have for you about how you can surrender and what you can better trust the universe to take care of for you? So what I'm already picking up for your choice of this flower is the flower that's representing the Sahasrara, or the crown chakra. So that means coming into your inner wisdom, or really listening into the wisdom of what the universe is offering to you. Coming into your, if you have psychic abilities, maybe tapping into your claircognizance, or trusting those pings that you get about your claircognizant abilities, if that's what you're sort of exploring at this time. So what are the current energies that are around you for what you need to surrender, what you need to release? We have the 10 of Swords in reverse. Very interesting. So the 10 of Swords is a card that's basically the minor arcana, so the more mundane experience of the archetypal energy of the Tower. So it could be that you've recently gone through a big Tower moment, and that feeling is really heavy upon you. But in reverse, it could mean that either that has recently happened and you're beginning to come out of that tower moment. Maybe you're beginning to see the bright side of it, or it could be that you are you're kind of perpetuating this Tower moment because you're not really achieving the release that this card speaks about. So it could be that you need to release, surrender to trust the universe that whatever it is that happened for a reason, and it happened for your greater good. So what are the lessons being learned here? We have the Chariot. So the Chariot, major arcana, and it speaks of having success in your endeavors, moving forward with great energy. It's also a card that's ruled by Cancer, so using your emotions to really tap into this power. And we've got Leo here as well. So bringing that out to the forefront, bringing it out to the persona. So it could be that you've got a lot of stuff going on in the subconscious that you need to bring forward through your emotions. Again, if you've picked the crown chakra, it could be because you're really spending a lot of time in your mind. So come into your body, come into your heart, and that will help you get through this period. And especially if you've got a perpetual tower moment going on here, perpetual like sudden catastrophic sense of loss, coming into your heart might be very challenging. So trust the universe to support you in that. We have the background energy happening for you. We have 5 of Swords. So this is a card that speaks of taking on a losing battle. So that might be part of what this, if you've got a tower, the sudden thing that's happened that you didn't expect, you might feel like you need to fight it. The lesson that you might be being invited to learn here is to let go of that fighting energy. Try not to fight the universe. The universe isn't against you. The universe is for you. And even the things that come up as what we perceive in our 3D selves as negative, those things are happening for a reason. And, it depends on what your belief system is. I happen to believe that these are often, especially the really big things, preordained. And there is so much hidden benefit and so much hidden joy and so much hidden beauty in the thing that appears tragic at the moment, but you need to go through that process of letting yourself feel the grief, let yourself feel the pain, and release it, send it back to you. Send your pain back to the universe. You don't need to hold that. Someone needed to hear that. And finally, the ultimate outcome we have for you is the Knight of Wands. We have the air and fire, so bringing in your heat, and we've also got a lot of green in this card. So coming into your heart energy, so moving forward, serving the energy of your body through a more heart-centered, a more emotionally connected, coming out of your head so much and coming more into your heart will lead you forward. Okay, so what is helping you? What is the support that you have to help you get through this? This might be something, group number 3, you might be going through something quite intense. So what are the energies around that are supporting you and releasing this and letting it go? We have 10 of Pentacles in reverse. So 10 of Pentacles upright. I often read this as the ancestor card, or the gifts of the ancestors. It's also a card that talks about having a complete, fully completed cycle of your financial abundance. So, excuse me, having that in reverse, it might mean that you are, one message I'm getting is you might have experienced the loss of someone who was an older person in your life who you miss very much. And if that's the case, I can very much relate. I might make a video about this soon, but I recently lost my father, and that really motivated my interest in exploring this part of myself and in bringing these messages forward. And I happen to be very aware that he's still here all the time. He's here much more now than he was when he was in his 3D body. So you might have experienced this loss of this person and you feel like it's all just come to ruin. But if you can allow this to come back upright, if you can allow for the ability of this ancestor to tap back into you, they have a lot to give to you, but you need to surrender that grief and possibly surrender that idea of that it's not possible. Let the universe decide what is possible, and you just need to follow what it's giving you. And we also have 2 10s in reverse, so this could also indicate that you are being asked to level up, you're being asked to complete a cycle, and you're blocking that. So it could be that you're experiencing some kind of like, if you have the same kind of baloney, the same kind of crap coming up back again and again. So if you're in a dating relationship and it hasn't been very fulfilling, if maybe even a little bit abusive, and you break off that relationship and you basically end up with another person who is just like that, or you leave a job because the boss was horrible and you come into another job and suddenly the boss is basically the same person but in a different body. That could be an indication that you are in a negative karmic cycle because you aren't learning the lessons. So turn inward, tap into your heart, get out of your head, and really let the universe tell you what it's trying to teach you. Because once you integrate that lesson, you can level up. You can release this tower moment. You can release this pain. You can come into connecting with your whole spirit team and really be a much bigger expression of yourself than you ever dared dream was possible. And definitely, I am speaking that from experience. Again, I might make a video about that at some point. If that is of interest to you, please let me know in the comments below. Finally, moving on, what do we have as the background energies of your lesson being learned? We have 2 of chalices in reverse. So this is sort of like the minor arcana version of the lovers. So a choice being made. Again, if this is grief, it could be that you felt like this was a partnership that you really needed, like you couldn't be anyone, you couldn't figure out, you don't have an identity without this person. Well, the invitation would be to realize that you do have your own identity and you have the ability to be in your most highly expressed well-being state. You can manage your own well-being at a high level, and you can be happy and you can be healthy in your own self. You don't need someone else. You don't need to be contextual. You don't need to be contingent to be happy. So it could be that this person, maybe you had another person that stepped out of your life, either through a separation or passing on to another realm, passing out of this life. And so you might be feeling that loss. So the invitation to you from this might be to come into your own activity, come into your own sense of who you are by believing that the choices that you make are right and that you have what you need within. You already have all that you need within you. You just need to trust it and let it come out. And then what are the background energies in support of completing this release, completing this surrender? We have the King of Chalices. Again, ooh, lots of Cancer here. So if you happen to ping on this because there was grief and there was Cancer involved, I'm so sorry for your loss. Cancer is also about emotions. The zodiac sign, I happen to be a Cancer rising. So we have a lot of blue in this energy as well. So coming into your truth and really tapping into mothering yourself, being the own home for yourself. The home for your spirit is in your heart, not in your head. So coming back into your heart. And so the King of Cups here, King of Chalices, is the combination of fire and water. So bringing energy to the emotional body that you have. So instead of like dampening it down, tightening it down, rejecting it, bring your energy to it and let it lead you. And then finally, what are the outcomes that we have for you? We have the 8 of Chalices. So leaving behind what no longer serves you. Yep. So whatever is happening for you, group number 3, may have been quite painful. And your ultimate outcome here is that you're going to be leaving that behind. And if you can accept this gift of surrender and trust the universe to take you where you need to go, you can get there. And the background energy supporting you have 5 of Wands. So this is sort of way in the background, sort of like other level, other layer of what's supporting you. You have the 5 of Wands. So again, a lot of heart space energy here with all of this green. And we have a group of people who are sort of, it looks like they could be fighting, but it's more like a sparring match. And so it's sort of like you're being asked to strengthen your heart through this, like, it's not really a fight. It's not really a battle. It's more of a training. You're being trained. You're leveling up your spirit, basically. If that's something that resonates for you, you're being asked to increase the strength and endurance and capacity of your heart. And the way that you can do that is to step into it and trust the universe to guide you through. So what are some messages that we have from the plants for our group number 3? We have Anemone. Optimism, look up and look brightly, right? So especially if you've been sitting in a space of grief, it could be that you have been basically there's just nothing you can say to someone who's grieving that's correct. Even if you also have your own grief journey, I could really tell after my father passed who had experienced a major loss and who hadn't, because those who haven't, they just don't know what to do with you. So you might have had people saying, oh, like he or she or they are in a better place now, and you should be happy about that. And like, you need to have your emotions as you need to have them. But what you might be able to invite yourself to do is to feel what you feel and just let it sweep through you. So this is something I also said for another group, so you might resonate with one of the other piles. But observe what's happening for you without attaching to it. That can help you come back up to this space of being more accepting, being more calm, and then getting back up even into joy and bliss. But it's going to be a process, and you need to trust the universe to take you through it. And we have rejuvenation, calla lily, reawaken and stand stronger. Yep. So for me, the experience that I had that would have matched this particular pile draw spurred my spiritual awakening, basically. So it could be that this rejuvenating yourself, coming back to life, bringing your own life back to your spirit, either physically or metaphysically, will again pull you up into something much stronger. And we have bluebell, gratitude. Yeah, be thankful for what you have that is good now. Attitude of gratitude will do wonders. So if you're feeling grief, I also might make a video about this if you're really interested, because it was super powerful for me. There's a ritual that you can do, sort of like a meditation practice, that if you're in a space of grief, can help you move through that grief. And specifically, if it's about a space of grief about someone who's passed on, that can also help them transition into their next spiritual level. If that's something that you believe in, happens to be something I believe in. So I could make a video about that if that's something you're interested in. Let me know in the comments below. And then finally, gratitude. Yes, be grateful. Even in the space of your deepest sadness, there's something to be thankful for there. Like, be thankful for the good things that have happened. Remember to look at the good as well as the bad. If you're only looking at the bad, if you spend your whole life staring into the darkness, and then you wonder why you're feeling blind, well, it's because you're always staring into the darkness. So just reorient your eyes to the light, and suddenly, amazingly, there's light. So that's what an attitude of gratitude can help you with. And finally, your words of healing wisdom: to feel your innate sense of truth, develop open-mindedness. So very interesting that you picked the crown chakra. Could be that you are a little resistant to all this woo-woo. So it could be that the ancestors are trying to tap into you and you're just like, nope, nope, nope. So to feel your innate sense of truth, let the universe tell you what's true. And you can know what that is by tapping into your heart space, by following what feels good, in a sense of what feels calm, what feels peaceful, what feels connected, what feels easy, or maybe not easy, but sort of like it gives you a sense of ease. You don't feel tense. You don't feel like all worried. Following those things and doing more of those things more and more every day will help get you through this. The universe has your back. Trust it. You're here, so you might be skeptical, but you're not so skeptical that you won't take a tarot reading, so you're here for a reason. I'm so glad that this message was able to find you. So thank you very much, group number 3, for letting me be your guide through these messages. If that hit your vibe, and you really, if that resonated something for you, I'd love to hear more about that. Please let us know in the comments below. And if it hit your vibe, you might like to give it a like. And if it's really resonating for you, you might also like to give this channel a subscribe and hit the bell notification button so that you can keep up to date as this channel continues to evolve. Thank you so much, group number 3, for letting me be your guide, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. But until then, as always, go in peace, to love and to serve. Namaste.